Welcome everyone to another episode, a live episode of His and Hers. I'm your girl Dulce Diva. This is my buddy, my one, my ace, my husband, Poetry. Say hello.
Hello.
We are joined by the wonderful cast of His and Hers, the co-hosts, including, but not limited to, Miss Diamond.
Hello, hello.
Hi. She
No, she's not Nick. Why are you always trying to point out somebody's Nick? Let's go on.
No, I haven't told people like, see, I have a shirt
Yeah,
on.
well,
It's a shirt.
You better have some clothes on. Doggone it. You better have some clothes on.
What the hell
Another
you
one
gonna do?
that
You
like
naked right now?
I am far from naked. Thank you very much.
Bird-chested ass.
Uh-oh.
Listen. Hold on. We starting this off all wrong. Listen. Let me deal with my sister. You stay over there.
No. Anyway, proceeding to the one and only Almond Joy.
Cuckoo.
You're right. You are definitely cuckoo.
And you are still bird-chested
Yes.
with boobs.
And of course, the other side of the his is that dude, Eddie Kane.
Hey, what it is, people? What it is?
Let the bashment begin.
If anybody listens to last week's show,
I did. I was
Oh
Wow.
God, I wasn't
I
there.
still haven't had the chance to. I am tonight, though, after we're done this one.
Diamond, it is funny, and I apologize in advance. I apologize for last week, because some of the shit I said was mean. I'm so sorry.
Man,
It's cool.
Not to you. I didn't say nothing mean to you. I said some mean shit to Eddie that came off as like jokey. I wanted to come off jokey, but after listening to it, it sounded pretty mean. So I apologize. You only get one, nigga.
Yeah, I definitely have listening.
All right, yeah, I was at work. Thankfully, I put my earbuds in because one, language, and two, because I already know that whatever you guys say is going to be out of control.
Indeed.
I barely heard. The only thing I remember, because I was laying down, I vaguely heard Poetry say something like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa," and after that, I was like, "Wait, whatever. I'll find out later." And then I listened to the show, and y'all were out of control. Y'all were like ganging up on him and everything, telling him to get on chandeliers and shit.
We made suggestions.
I'm saying no.
We just made suggestions, and we pretty
You
much
can't
said
be
we're
basic
35.
with it. No basic.
Diamond was like, she's like, wait a minute, hold up. I'm 35 years old.
And I'm still getting it. What you mean?
I was dying laughing. My
You
coworker.
got to get that Cirque du Soleil loving, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Hello. My coworker who sits in the office with me kept looking over and was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm just listening to a podcast." And I'm like, tears like streaming down my face.
Don't be shaking your head over there, Eddie. Get it together. Don't shake your head and do the deep breath. And
Look. If you follow Eddie's Facebook comments, SMH, we should just call him SMH.
Right.
Right?
We should just call this. He's not Eddie Kane. He's just Sm. He's forever shaking my head. He's never shaking my motherfucking head. He ain't never that. He's just shaking his head.
He is just
shaking my head. And he'll even verbalize it for you too if you let him. Shaking my head.
While he's shaking his head. Like you can't see him.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Like, we can't derive from context, but okay.
Be like that. You know it's true.
Can we start the show?
We are on the show. This is what we do. Anyway, you gave me this job. Let me do it. Okay. Tonight, we're talking about the topic that we will be discussing is relationships and when children are involved. Some of us have children. Some of us have dated with children. don't have children, and we'll hear both sides of the story.
I should say very little. I have no children's.
Have you ever dated anybody with kids?
Yeah, but their kids was always like with the mother.
Okay.
I think only one guy I knew had custody of his child that I dated. And then, even then, both me and the little girl, our separation anxiety was like off the hook, when things went bad. So I try to avoid men with kids. I really do. For that reason.
So you avoid men with kids because you don't.
Because I get attached to the child.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want children of my own, and I don't have children. So
Okay.
I get attached. So I just avoid that altogether.
That makes sense. I can definitely understand that. Any of the women with children, how do y'all deal with getting to know someone initially and making sure either they're not so much involved in your child's life or vice versa? How do y'all work with that?
I just go ahead.
Oh, I have two. I have two little girls, so even the fact that I have girls, it makes me even more protective of who meets them and who they come in contact with. So he has to first prove that he's worth more than just this personal relationship, because I do date, but they never get to meet my kids. So, like, until I have, felt like he's worth more than just this personal relationship right here, they don't get to meet my kids. My kids have met only two guys since I've been single. Only two, and they were in public areas, like at a park or at a restaurant. So I try to keep like the meeting in a public area, not personal at home, so they're not confused. Because if I'm telling them, like, this is my friend or whoever, I wanted to keep it presentable because I want my daughters to understand, how to interact with men in relationships.
Okay, Diamond?
I feel where Free is coming from, and I agree. I'm one of those people, like, I don't bring men around my children. Know that if I ever get to the point where you meet my children, that means that we're building. It's going to be something more than just, a physical relationship or something just for the right now moment. So, yeah, like she said, I mean, I have a daughter and two sons, but I definitely have to set an example. One, for my boys, just so they can know what type of woman, to deal with, so I can be an example for them. And two, for my daughter to, get the example of what to and not to do with dealing with men. If I just, bring around any random men around my kids, that says a lot about me. And that's just something that I don't do. So again, if I bring you around my children, know that we're definitely serious and it's definitely something more than just, what's on the surface.
Right.
I could definitely agree with that. Because he's our son, but we are a blended family. And before Poetry and I became an item, he never met anyone. Like, he is literally the only man that he's ever met that he knows that I've had a relationship with, outside of his father, of course. He knows that we had a relationship with his dad and things didn't work out. But the only other man that he's ever seen has been Poetry. So for me, it was, guys are people that I talked to or that I dated. They were aware that there was a child involved, but if it wasn't going to be serious, they would never get to meet him.
Right.
Okay.
I know I personally said, I've always said this, and I'm always going to stick, only because this is what I know. When my mom met, he's my stepfather, but I call him my dad because the man practically raised me. That's my dad.
Yeah.
The sperm donor didn't do shit but donate. So, my dad.
Right.
Even my mom says this. If a man isn't talking about marrying you, he shouldn't need to see your kids.
Right.
Mommy can still do what mommy wants to do, but the kids, they would never meet. if I had a child, and I even have to tell guys, like they're like, oh, I want you to meet my daughter. I don't want to meet her. I want you to meet my son. I don't want to meet him. I don't want to meet him because we're not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. It's not going in the direction where I need to meet your child.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and a
Yeah.
lot of times with men, not a lot of times, sometimes with men with children, especially men with daughters, they are looking for a woman who will be a better example than, I guess, the biological, as like a comparison. Not all the time, some. The some that I've met, that's what they were looking for.
Okay.
Like, because when I was in the military, you know, the people you dated, they all had jobs, basically. But with men, it's different. You know, their women may or may not have a job. They may have been the only support system that these people had. So for whatever reason, if that relationship went south for whatever reason, you know, it's almost like a comparison for them. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's how they evaluate on what they like or what they're willing to tolerate versus what they dealt with in the past. I don't know if that's how they weigh the scales or not, but that's what it seems like to me. And it's almost like, oh, you're a single woman and you have no kids. You know, now I get the stink eye, I get the funky eye. Like, well, why is that? Other than the obvious, I use birth control.
Well, speaking as a man that doesn't have any biological kids, I don't like calling my son my stepson because that nigga is mine. I don't care what nobody says. That nigga is
Yeah,
mine.
that's how my dad raised me.
I feel like he's more mine sometimes than he is from his biological father. Just not stepping on his toes, but you know, we bond like that.
Right.
And speaking as a man that doesn't have kids, my main goal in life has been, up to this point, I do not want a crazy baby mama. Not at all. And I think that's what men that have, you know, their kids in their life and their mother might not be in their life, tend to sometimes either have a crazy baby mama or turn their baby mama crazy. One or the other, but usually crazy is involved in one way, shape, or form. Usually.
And see, I have a
And
baby
it
mama
kind
clause.
of
I
crazy
don't do that baby
thing.
mama
I
shit.
don't.
You killing me with that baby mama clause, though.
I don't. You know what? She's the mother of your child. You deal with that bullshit. I don't have to because it's not my responsibility. That's the perk of not having children. Like I can really like drop that bomb on you, especially if we're just in those introductory phases. All of those things seem like to me as a person without children as personal problems. Those are not my problems. Those are your problems.
I
So
mean, but
either
the thing is this: when it comes to, relationships with, people with kids, I feel like everybody is adult. The
you would
kids are
think.
the innocent ones. Either y'all gonna coexist or y'all not. Like if y'all can't be adults and deal with the situation, you respect her position and she respects yours, and nobody crosses that line, then something is definitely wrong. If a whole bunch of childish foolishness has to come into play, then somebody got some growing up to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking as someone that tries to be an adult about the situation sometimes, certain people are just incapable of it. There are times when you try to be the mediator or you try to be the adult in the situation and just make it to where everybody's in that gray area where we can coexist. No blacks, no whites. We're in there mingling and trying to make it work. But there's always that one motherfucker that pushes you. And I'm speaking from experience.
Yes.
And anybody, I'll give you enough rope to kill yourself. And if we weren't in a place where law enforcement was, I'd have killed this little dude. I would kill him. But I've learned to manage and deal with it, and he's still alive. That's a testament to my patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad when you have person of the male.
Well, let's not say that because people are people. It's just bad when people make things a lot harder in a
Than what it should
situation.
be. Than what
Exactly.
it should be. I know people who've gotten married, kind of like you guys married. There's a person who had a child from another relationship, but has had children with his wife now, and the baby mother to this fucking day. She is like determined to make his life miserable for whatever reason.
Then
She
she has
bitter.
some growing up to do.
She's pissed and she's bitter and she's still single. Now
Right.
he's been married to, this is a friend of mine. She lives here in Texas. They've been married for 7 years now. She still has not bounced back from that relationship. I got a girlfriend in DC. Both her baby daddies
Okay.
have remarried, and they're both having children with their wives. These will be the first children that they have with their wives. And she's pissed about that, and it's been like 13, 14 years.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
in her case, she got some issues within herself that she needs to deal with.
Yes,
It's
she
not
yes
them
she
that they're
does, but
pissed
don't
with.
tell her that shit because then
It's
she'll
her.
be all, I'm an independent black
Well,
woman,
she
and I'm
needs
just
to
like,
say no. She needs to soul search, face her truth, and allow herself to heal. Because if she's still having issues all of these years later, baby girl, yeah, she got to dig deep and get her. Yeah, her issues, she definitely got to deal with. It's not the men. It's not even the fact that they've moved on and that they've married. Whatever
it's
she's
hard.
dealing with,
Ads.
she
I
has
always
to face it,
about
accept it, and move on.
and see, and that's what I have to do too. Like Free said, she always asks about the baby mother. Like, if I invest in a relationship with a man with children, I'm investing in that child too. I want the absolute
Right.
best for that child. I want this child to
Right.
succeed, and I will help this child succeed in any way that I can. Now I'm vested in this individual. But there's always, just like poetry said, there's always that one person for some fucking reason that just,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
just
I've
you just want to
experienced
beat
that
that
too. I
bitch with
had
a
to,
bat
I've
woo side and hit my
and
pressure
party
points like
and
I don't want to sit in a prison
bullshit and
cell. Like,
party
yeah.
and bullshit
Oh,
and beat
trust
that bitch with
me.
that. I don't.
Oh
I've
God.
experienced it. I had to say, you got kids, you can't sit in a cell because if you do this, then you know what's gonna happen and how far it's gonna go. So yeah, I had to woo side and get it together.
But and it's sad that you have to do that because people bitch and moan about the state of the black community and how these children are. But when there is actual a positive influence coming in, they will push that shit
Right.
away so quick, but not recognize that negative. Now you know the negative when we know the negative when you see it. But it's something about
Right.
when the positive influence comes into the picture, that's the first thing that gets pushed out. And then they have the audacity to say, well, these kids today, motherfucker, you had something good. Your bitch ass pushed it off.
Oh wow.
it's
I love her.
I see it as people not knowing how to deal with good things happening to them in their lives,
That
and or people not wanting good things to happen to someone they're not dealing with anymore. I think that happens more than people not being able to accept the goodness that's happening in their lives.
or maybe they can't identify it. Maybe
Okay.
they can't identify
And
it. Maybe they've never seen it before, so they don't know how to. Maybe that's it. Maybe they can't identify it. They've never seen it before, so it's foreign to them. Is that
but
possible?
again,
That's
yeah, but that also falls in what I
definitely
always say, how a person treats somebody is a reflection of how they treat themselves. So if you don't respect yourself, if you don't treat yourself well, how are you going to treat the next person, you know, in a good way? Like, everything starts with you. Honesty, self love, all of that stuff. You can't do none of that. Give that to another person if you're not first giving it to yourself. So people that's bitter like that, yeah, you just let them be, and
And see, I don't
eventually
even
they'll
like to
figure it
say that
out.
they're
Hopefully,
bitter. I just like to say they're kind of broken to me.
Yeah,
And I feel
yeah.
I feel a
But
level of
who's gonna
empathy.
take the time? Most people.
I just kind of think that they're broken. I don't really think that they're bitter. I think they're broken. And I also think that a lot of things that positive karma that could have came into their life passed them by because they were too busy focusing on what happened 5, 3, 4 years ago, or yesterday.
I'm sorry, I done came across too many bitter ass women. It's just it's like they just can't accept the fact that the family that they wanted didn't work out for whatever reason. You know what I mean? There's so many reasons why we don't end up with the person that we had kids with. But at some point, you have to decide that you're going to be happy, that you're going to love again, that you're going to get out here and be a positive person again, and stop focusing all your energy on making his life miserable. This is why I ask dudes about their baby mamas, because I want to know, is she over y'all relationship? Do she still got ill feelings right now?
I mean, but how are you supposed to know as a man?
No, it's evident. It's very evident. Even if you say you don't, the signs are there.
I must not understand the absent-mindedness of men. We really don't.
No, we understand that too. And we usually know whether or not she's over the relationship based on how she reacts if she comes across one of, us.
But because I know a lot of baby moms are not like me. I could care less about who my kid's father is dating. I could care less. I only care if the bitch is around my kids, because now I got some questions for her.
Right.
I want to know what her purpose is, because I feel like a lot of men don't understand when a woman is coming around just for you and your kids happen to be there and actually caring for your kids. Because
right, and that's my thing.
You don't have females around. It's like, you done sit up here all day with my child and you ain't brush her hair. As a woman, motherly instincts, you're dealing with a man who has 2 daughters and you ain't trying to help him do his kid's hair, but you've been sitting around here all day. I mean, if you want to come over here and suck his dick, do that when he don't have his kids. That's fine. Do that. But don't come over here acting like, trying to play the family role when you're not doing anything of
Be a hoe when the babies are asleep. They don't see them what's about to come in. They don't see nobody come out.
Right.
By the time they asses wake up, it's just you and mommy.
Right.
That's how it should be. And because I wouldn't have, if I had a child, believe you me, this is a hypothetical. Let's say hypothetically I was dating Eddie. I had a child. Hey, we want to do grown-up shit. You got to come when the baby go to bed.
And you better
you got to leave immediately.
Before
there will be no cuddle time.
Immediately.
There will be no cuddle time. You have got to go.
Everybody must go at 4 a.m. Everybody
and
must.
If I have daughters, you're leaving at 2.
She said, you better get over here, get it, and get out. That's what she said. Come get it and get out.
That'll be the stealthiest fucking of your life.
This is like some Navy SEAL shit. You get in, get out, and completely disappear.
Right.
Yes. I need you to be the Meek Mills in the bedroom if I got children.
Whoa.
I need you to. I don't even have time for the romance and the foreplay. We gotta get it done now.
She said, look, you know what you came here for. Get it, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, I don't even have time for the romance. The children are here. We can do that when they daddy come get them.
But I feel where Free is coming from, though, because we have a son. But honestly, I don't know how many of his father's girlfriends he's met. Because he told us that the girlfriend that he had.
Oh, that story, Lord.
Do you want to tell it?
Okay, let's tell that story.
All names have been changed to protect the identities of the innocent.
I don't give a fuck. I'll say names.
Hey, no. We not gonna do that.
I'm not. I could, but I'm not.
No.
But our son and us was in the car. We were coming from his practice
already.
We were coming from his practice, and we were talking. We were talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and he just volunteered that his father and his father's girlfriend, aren't together anymore. Never asked him about it. Didn't even really care to know, but he just volunteered that information. And there's one thing about our son, he is very intuitive and he remembers everything, which is a bad combination. He hears all, he remembers all, and he understands all.
And he repeats it.
And he will repeat it. So he told us that, and it made us. And her saying that makes you wonder how many girlfriends has he met, because we only know of two that have been around. But for lack of a better word, his father as a whole, we don't know who else he fucking.
Right.
Yeah. See that they.
And that's not a good example to set for him either. That's
No,
not,
it's not.
he's
Right.
not being, the type of man that he would want his son to be. Like, I have
Yeah,
a problem with
but
male and
that's where
female.
that's where
Go
poetry comes
ahead.
into play, because poetry basically is that counterattack, if I can use that word, or whatever the case may
Right.
be. Because poetry is that it's basically you got option A, option B. Poetry is that option B. It's in fact to show him exactly, as a man, this is how you carry yourself. This is
Right.
because
Well,
first of all,
he
he's
sees
seeing all of that.
his son is seeing what not to become
Right.
and what to strive for. So
Exactly.
he's going to know what bitch assness looks like. He's going to know what manhood looks like.
Yes. Thank you.
He's going to know the difference, because that's really what it boils down to. It's like
I mean,
I mean, because women can only, especially when it comes to boys, women can only teach them the bare minimum as far as like the manhood shit. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Be a good person, say please and thank you, wash your hands, keep your elbows off the table.
well, yeah, I
But
learned
I
that in the
think
military. So
the information, I think the manhood information is more receptive to boys and young men when it comes from a dude with a doodle. Somebody who is living the manhood, somebody who is walking in it, talking in it, working in it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense if daddy's a hoe and that's all you're going to see, and mommy drops you off there on the weekend. It's counterproductive to what the good thing she's trying to teach him, because daddy is saying this is okay. Well, at daddy's house, I get to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I actually feel, I feel bad for people who have to deal with that shit, who have these kind of have to co-parent with people who undermines what they're trying to teach the child, who try to undermine the positives that you're trying to teach the child, and constantly exposes them to things that you probably wouldn't want them to be exposed to.
Yeah.
But they have to spend time, they have to spend time with their father.
Yeah.
Douchebag or not. They have to. And then you're just hoping that when he gets to a certain age, probably in his teenage years, that he understands and he can recognize the way my father is. I love him, but that's not the type of person I want to be. And so you got to sit there and hope that that's what happens if you're a single mother. Don't say Diva, you have poetry there. So your son gets to see the positive and the negative. So he'll be able to recognize and make a better decision on the type of person that he wants to be. And I think that's what matters.
Yeah, and even though Andre is 6 years old, he just turned 6 in July. But Andre has always been wiser beyond his years. He's a very intelligent and very bright kid, and he recognizes something don't look right. Matter of fact, we were having, Poetry and I were having a conversation that had, nothing to do with him. It was just, we were talking about some stuff, some situations he's been dealing with, and we were discussing the common sense of a grown-up over some money, and discussing how she decided to turn down some money. And Andre was in his room and he was playing, doing the things kids do, and he said, Andre has more common sense than this person does. And he's like, watch this. He calls him. He says, Andre, come here. Andre says yes. He's like, okay, I just want to see what your answer would be to this question. He says, if you wanted $20, and I told you, no, I'm not going to give you $20. I'm going to give you $15. Would you still take it? And he says, yes, because I still get money. So he's like, okay. He's like, all right, that's it. You can go play. He's like, all right. So, you know, he is very commonsensical. Like he really uses his common sense. And the fact that he knows the structure that we have in our house and what he can't get away with when he's here and versus what he can get away with or what he can and cannot do at his father's house. He already knows this. And he knows that with us, we may be structured, but he also knows that there is support there because we spend time with him. His father tends to pass him off to somebody else to watch him or take care of him. Whereas the only time that he's not with us is if he's in before or after care. Or if he's at school because we got work. But for the most part, he's with us. And when he's with us, we're either going out somewhere or playing games with him or playing video games, whatever the case may be, but we're always with him. And he knows that when he's with us, he's with us. He spends time with us. He spends time with poetry. Poetry and him have this whole comic book thing that they have conversations about.
I just tried on the White Lantern suit. That was very uncomfortable, but we'll work on that.
So he knows that. Like for example, we plan to dress up with him for Halloween. Mm-hmm. His father doesn't dress up, even because he just doesn't. Whether he doesn't like it or he just doesn't do it, whatever the case is. I'm sure that he's probably asked him to, and he told us last time. He's like, yeah, my dad, Daddy doesn't like wearing costumes, or he doesn't wear, something like that. And we were like, well, we'll do it because we want to do this with you. So he already knows who he can ask for stuff, like who he can count on to do stuff with him or spend time with or whatever the case is. Like he already knows that he has a support system with us. And I think with parents, when poetry came in, when he started, dating me, he already knew that it was a package deal. If he got me, he got this kid who is very he gave him the side eye for like the first couple of months.
No, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that bad. It was like the first 2 or 3 weeks. And after that, he got comfortable.
Like he started to get, he started easing into it because, again, Andre had never met anybody, that I was dating. And then, our relationship was very whirlwind and everything happened really fast. And so he was like, well, is your friend staying here? So we had to have a conversation of, yes, this is somebody that mommy is dating and this is somebody that mommy cares very much about. And now, Andre says, well, is poetry, is he like my dad, like a dad to me now? And I'm like, would you like him to be? He said yes. So he's like, it's good to have 2 families. He has his father's side of the family and he has us. So he recognizes that. And we also have to make sure that people that have children and who are in relationships or dating, you have to talk to your kids about, how comfortable they are with the person that they meet. Because, they're people too. And sometimes I think people forget that children are people. They have feelings and they feel a certain kind of way. They can feel insecure or they can feel unsafe if somebody gives them, like a weird vibe. Thankfully, that wasn't the case with poetry. But I was always asking him, how do you feel? Is he, do you feel okay with him? Do you feel like he's your friend? He's like, yeah, he's fine. Like he's good. mind you, Andre was 2. He hadn't turned 3 yet when Poetry and I started dating. So he was real young, but he's always been very vocal. I don't know how it is with you guys who have children and who are, have dated people. I don't know how you guys have handled that.
People with children, are y'all frozen?
I believe they are.
I think the people with
No, I
children are
mean,
frozen.
no, here, I mean, I feel like in my case, like, I let it be known if my kids don't like you, it's a no-go for me because I refuse to have my children unhappy. I refuse that. I don't care how well things work out with us, but if the little ones don't like you, yeah, keep it moving, bruh.
Well, what if the kids, because sometimes kids take a minute to warm up to someone. Like, how long is there like a time period that you would
I
say?
give
'Cause,
minimum.
sometimes
I
kids can
mean,
be
for the
like,
most
I don't
part,
like you because they're new.
it's
I
like
would.
my boys are laid back. So they're the ones that it takes a little more time. My daughter has a strong personality like me. She's gonna tell you whether she likes you or not straight off the bat. Once she sits back and when I say she observes everything, she's just like me. And she'll come to me and tell me, "Oh no, I don't like him," or "Yes, I do like." We talk,
Okay.
and I talk with my boys too. But like I said, they're a little more laid back, so it takes a little more time for me to figure things out with them. They will say whether they do or don't like somebody, but I know that it's not going to happen immediately. It's going to take a while because they're watching everything also. My
Right.
daughter, like I said, she'll call you on everything. As soon as she sees it, she's on it. She's asking questions. She want to know. So she's the one that's hard to correct. Like if she likes you, oh, you're in.
A good
I
way
can
to
understand.
tell.
I feel that.
A good
But
way to tell is that if they are around like platonic friends, girlfriends, guy friends, whatever, and it takes them about 2 to 3 weeks to warm up. That's kind of like how I told one of my friends to kind of measure it, because my one girlfriend, her daughter's kind of like your daughter, Diamond. She won't. She'll acknowledge you're in the room, but she'll
Mhm.
find a nice quiet spot where she can just kind of get a
Mhm.
layout of everybody in the room, and she will read
Mhm.
every individual person in the room. And then she will find that one person that she thinks that she can manipulate, and try to manipulate that individual to see if she can get what she wants from this person. So like she could tell you who will, if mommy says I can't have this, but mommy's gone and I ask this person, they'll give it to me. You know what I'm saying? If it's like a babysitting situation. She
Mhm.
knows
Right.
who she can get over on. She almost got my ass because she was adorable at freaking 3 years old going on 4. And she was grown, and she was my shoe shopping person. She was my shoe shopping buddy. And every time I went to her mom's house, I like your shoes. I like your shoes. So I would take her shopping with me. That's how I knew that she was comfortable with me. She was willing to get in my car and we were able to go to the mall together and shoes
Mhm.
and try on shoes all day and bring her back sugared up and give her to her mom. You know what I'm saying? And the same with her son. Like me and her son, I kind of feel like her kids are my kids too, because I'm invested in these children.
Mhm.
I want the best for them. I've kind of watched them grow up, even though I'm not around anymore. I watch them grow up through Facebook. There's always pictures of them. I feel like I'm there. Sometimes they'll just call me, and I got to figure out like who is this calling me from, North Virginia, or, or who's this calling me from Gaithersburg? Well, who's this? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
because they haven't talked to me in a while, or they haven't seen me, or I haven't been brought up. So they'll call me, and I'm okay with that. So if your children do something like that, I think that, things like that, I think that's like the baseline to kind of figure out whether or not they may or may not like your dude or your gal friend or whatever the case may be. Because they seem to be pretty intuitive between the ages of like 3 and 7. Like they pick up on shit really, really quick. They don't get stupid until puberty hits. And if they keep these wits through puberty, that's good parenting.
Yeah.
So Eddie, I mean, have you dated women with children, and what are your usual rules when trying to deal with a woman with children? Like, what are things that you will do, will not do?
Well, I definitely have dated women with children. Matter of fact, the majority of the women that I have dated have all had children.
Stuff that
You know what I'm saying? From, whether it be one child or I think the most was like 4. She had 4. And so it's for me, because after one relationship, because I can understand where Almond Joy is coming from about you get attached to the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like you get attached to them, especially if you're around them to the point that you're spending a lot of time with them. One of my relationships, as a matter of fact, I just got with her. Her daughter was still in that newborn stage, and it got to the point I heard so much that like it's crazy. Her name was like my name was like her very first word, like saying my name.
Wow.
That's how much I had her. So, you get attached to those kids and all that type of stuff. So it's hard when the situation doesn't work out. Me now, because of that situation, if me personally, if I can't see myself being with that woman long term, I'm not trying to meet her kids. That saves me some trouble. That saves her. That saves the kids some trouble. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I grew up in a single parent home. My mother always taught me and my brother that you don't shun a woman that has kids. And she always put it from the perspective of how would we feel if a man came around and shunned her because she had us, or how would we feel if a man came into the picture and tried to make her choose between him and us. So that's always been my outlook. And this is something my mom taught us when I was like a preteen. So that's always been my outlook. Not to mention, I know how it was for me not having a father. So I learned from that perspective. So I always tried to treat whatever woman I dated that had kids, treat their kids with the utmost respect. So my rules are simple fact that if I can't see it going anywhere long term, I'm not going to. I don't want to meet your kids. I just don't. 2, depending on what ages they are, because as Alma just out there said, they that puberty stage, man, that is something different. That is something different. That is something different. And when you're dealing with kids that are coming into their own identity, their own personality, and all that type of stuff, yeah, it can get real iffy.
It can get real iffy.
Testy.
It gets special. That shit gets special. Like certifiably retarded special.
I mean, because you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get like you get the kid or you have the kid. If the parent, if they have multiple children, whatever the case may be, if you get 1 or 2 to warm up, yeah, but it's always that one that's gonna be like, nah, I don't care. Nope, nope. You ain't my daddy, so I ain't gotta listen to you. And you, when you go through it, it ain't a fun process. That's all I will say that much. So
that is so true. That puberty shit is true. I was 20. I had just turned 21, and I was dating a guy in the Navy who he had his first child when he was 16. He was 44, and I was 21. His son at the time he just turned 16. That shit was special. That shit was special. Like, and I was just like, shoot. Me and your son is damn near the same age. I can't do this shit. And even now with men in their 40s, and I'm 35, and they got teenage kids, it's like, I'm gonna sing my song. Can I sing my song? Fuck this shit, I'm out. I can't. I'm gonna take my shit and leave.
Yeah,
I can't do
but
it.
even to touch on something that was talked about earlier, just that like as poetry said, like it's always that one individual that make you want to just reach out and touch him.
It's
The
usually the
same woman that I
child.
was the same woman that I was dating, whose daughter I pretty much helped raise from the time that she was a newborn. Her father, I remember when he first started like coming around, whatever the case would be, when he thought I was just simply like, his baby mama, like homeboy or whatever the case may be. Oh, everything was cool. We was, he was cool. He was, what's up, Eddie? This is now type of stuff. But when she broke it down to him, the simple fact, like, yeah, like we're dating. That's my man. Oh no, no, it got real ignorant.
What she
And
do? Sit him down like he was a child and have the talk?
Oh, hell
you
no.
know
What?
what? I don't even really
Mom,
know. All,
mommy
all
is
I know
dating a
is
new man.
all I know is I got informed that he told her if I come over there, he gonna kill me. And I said, oh yeah,
Wait, what? Wait.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
okay.
What the hell?
Really?
It's not that serious?
It's not even that serious because if
Right.
she was that awesome, why isn't he with her? If you're gonna get this
Okay.
mad, why? If you're gonna get mad about this shit, why ain't you with her? Because
But
that's the
you
shit I
know,
would have asked him.
like men, when they get a woman pregnant, they feel like that's their property for life. Like,
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
Dude,
man, I am going
Exactly.
through that right now. Oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
Lord have mercy.
Exactly. I had to explain that to both my god brother and my brother. I had to explain to both of them the simple fact, like, look, because both of them got kids. My god brother and my brother got kids, and I had to explain it to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand that the only thing that y'all got that keeps y'all bound to each other is that child. That's it.
hmm
Who she dating, you ain't got to
Right.
be concerned about. Who you
None of your
dating, she ain't got to
concern.
be concerned about until
I mean,
until you know it's going to get serious. When you know it's going to get serious, then that's when it comes down to some fact for you to want to meet that person, and as Free
right.
said earlier, ask some questions and all that type of stuff, that sort of thing. But if
Right.
it's not getting to that point, you all that who they dating, no, 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 that's you're
That
Not
doing
that
too much.
mention that.
and
I just
that's
thought
what
of
I
something.
find to be the fucking hardest to do with people with children. Each person feels like that person belongs to them, or you know what I'm saying? Because I have a child, that's mine. And it's like it's not yours. Because there's
no.
women who do that same shit too. Bitch, if you
Oh
wanted him,
yeah,
you should have did what
oh
you should
yeah.
have done to
Mm-hmm.
keep the nigga. That way I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't even be the problem. I wouldn't exist. Y'all would be happy and we would all be happy. The world would be unicorns, butterflies, and fucking rainbows. And the same goes with these men. And I don't even know what this trend is where a man will say, I'm gonna get you pregnant. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, you gonna get me pregnant, and guess what? You gonna pay some child support or not. If you don't, I don't give a shit, because we gonna be alright. Like Kendrick Lamar. And I'm gonna do my
Because
motherfucking thing.
I think it's more of a people just want to have some type of tie to you. Like, I don't actually want to be in a relationship. I don't
Then
want to
let's
get
get in.
married.
Let's share
But
an
I
investment. Let's
wanna
get
I
a.
wanna have a reason to contact you the rest of your life. I want to have this reason
We
because
got
I
Facebook.
tell me
I
that
don't even think it's
like
that.
have my baby and shit. But like, okay, but what about getting married? But what about being in a relationship?
Right. You can knock me up, but I can't be your wife. Well, how does that shit work?
I think
He just want me to be.
a lot of people just do stuff like that because it sounds good at the time. It
Does
sounds
that
like a
sound?
good idea. Like letting Donald Trump run for president sounded like a good idea to somebody.
This ain't the place.
Hey, he actually leading in polls too. This is some
This ain't the place, Free.
this is some bullshit.
But to somebody, that sounded like a good idea. Eventually, the reality will set in.
It
But
will definitely set in.
but people say and do stuff like that, not thinking of the long term ramifications. All they're thinking about is that short-term satisfaction. Period. No, a lot of people don't see that long-term. You're going to have to deal with this person forever, to be quite honest with
I'm gonna give. You know what? I'm gonna give a disclosure on this show. If in the event I get pregnant, if I forget to put in my NuvaRing,
Oh my.
and it happens, I'm not gonna be upset because I want a baby anyway. I'm gonna be like, yes. But I will give them an option. I will give them an option. You can do one of two things. If you're going to be an active co-parent, these are my boundaries. These are my rules. I'm not your girlfriend. We are just co-parenting, making sure this little person becomes a good human being. You have one or two options. You can participate or you can sign off your parental rights. And we don't have to deal with each other no fucking more. Because that dramatic shit that comes with having a child with a motherfucker, I cannot do. And so these are your options. Take them or leave them. My Jew lawyer will call you.
Those are the best.
Did you have to point out the fact he's gonna be Jewish though?
He was gonna be so Jewish, he's kosher.
Oh my goodness, Lord! I can't.
Like the fucking pickles, like the hot dogs. He's going to be fucking kosher.
Hebrew national up in this joint.
You goddamn right.
Okay.
Because the drama, from the shit that I seen as a single person, that people, men and women both, have experienced with these baby mamas and these baby daddies, I cannot do that. Sign this motherfucking document, participate, and mind your motherfucking business. Because if you ain't talking about little boo-boo here, we ain't got shit to discuss. That's how I feel.
For me and Poetry kind of, we share the same, we had the same mentality. Because I remember I was walking somewhere and I told God, I said, God, listen. I said, I do not want a baby mama. I was like, please, let my wife be the mother of my children. Because at that particular point in time, I was witnessing too much stuff. And then not to mention what I had just dealt with from a previous relationship, I was like, no, no. Because, I mean, I got a thing for kids. I love kids, you know what I'm saying? And I want kids of my own. So it's like, I know when that time comes, I know the type of father that I want to be. I'm going to do my absolute best to be. So anything less than that, I can't rock with at all. But at the same time, I can't have a child with a woman that thinks she's going to put me through hell simply out of spite or whatever. I can't do it. I won't do it. Like, at all. Just, that's not even an option for me.
That's
like, it's totally unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
I was going to say something. Because I remember when Eddie was talking about, you know, the whole talk, sit down, have a talk. I don't recall me ever having to have that talk with anybody that I've dealt with that had kids, and maybe their baby's father, because maybe I give up this vibe that I'm crazy.
You do.
Or whatever it is, but
I'm not getting crazy. I'm getting huggable. I'm getting huggable. You are so huggable. I'm getting cuddles. See, cuddles. I'm getting cuddly. Yeah.
I insist.
Crazy.
I insist on having the talk. I want her to know directly that if my child ever comes to me unhappy about any situation that she has brought upon her, I just don't know. There's just nothing you can say to me that's going to make it all right.
I think that's more. I don't know. I could be wrong about this, but I think that's more of a woman thing. I think men tend, because hear me out. Hear me out. Normal functioning men with normal functioning capacities usually don't think about that, because if I'm going to meet someone's children, I've already made the conscious decision that this isn't going to be something short term. If all I want is some pussy, I don't need to meet your kids.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
If I'm the baby's father and I'm a normal functioning person.
Wait, what's considered normal? Like, what's normal for you guys?
It's all relative, but let's just say in general, okay? In general, I have common sense. I know 1 + 1 = 2.
Exactly.
Not liable to have any crazy tendencies
Okay.
unnecessarily. That's what I consider normal.
Okay.
Let that be the defining point. I don't have to go to this dude and tell him anything out the way unless it's necessary.
Right.
That's at least how I feel. I don't need to pull you to the side to tell you if you fuck over my family, my baby's mother, or my kids, it's a problem. Because as a man, that should already be understood.
You would
Exactly.
think.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
would
It
think.
definitely should be. It definitely
That's
should
how
be.
it should be, but it's not always. It's not always
But
that way.
I just want them to know directly from me though. Like I want you to know it don't matter what he say or think. I'm my own person. So if I'm
Right.
coming to you about it, that's between me and you. I give no fucks about what his opinion is about why I'm coming at you because you around my kids.
That's why I said
Period.
that's
Point blank.
more of a woman.
I think the mother and the other woman should meet and have a discussion. You know what I'm saying? I think it would be nice, but not every bitch is civil. So I mean,
I mean,
if you
but not
if, if you're
but
if
not
you're
every.
dealing with some, I mean, because what Free is asking, if I was dating Free's father her kids, and she asked to meet me, I would meet her. And I would let her know my intentions that your child is almost going to be like my child. This is an investment. I want the best for you girls. Let's make it work. If you need anything, I think that's how it should be. But it's never
how my
like
Again,
that.
but the key word, but the key words in all of that is should be.
It should be
Unfortunately,
that way.
that's not the case. I
Even
mean, if
me
dude,
as a single woman, I want to meet the mother of the children. So the boundaries are established. I'm not expecting your child to call me mom. I'm not
Right.
expecting that. I'm not even here to replace you. I'm here to support you. And I'm here
Right.
to support your child. And I'm here to make sure that
You start
individual
making
becomes a
green
good,
work.
upstanding person.
But see,
Yep.
That's great work. I
that's
promise.
where the problem kind of comes in then, because you don't have those expectations, but shit happens.
it
Right.
does happen.
When you get hit with that first "Hey Mama" that you wasn't expecting,
Right.
and then she finds out, and it's not so civil as you thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
Like, okay, I have been in that situation. I've only out of however many girlfriends our son's biological father has had. There's only been one person that me and her have actually established a relationship of. We actually talk about what he's doing and what stuff that will help him to improve his quality of life, whether he's going to be in a sport or he's going to swimming lessons or whatever the case is. There's only one person that I've had that conversation, that I've actually been able to have a conversation with. And even though she's not his father's girlfriend anymore, this is one person that Andre is still very close to. He loves her very much. And when we were living in Texas, and he was up here with his father, and he was, they were living together and whatever. One day, he was talking to her. He was asking her for something, and he called her mommy. And it took me aback. I didn't cook out because, one, I wasn't expecting it. It stung a little bit at first, but then I thought about it. I'm like, if he is calling her mommy, he knows who his real mother is. He knows that I'm his mom, and I'm always gonna love him. I'm always gonna take care of him. But if he feels that she is doing what she needs to do as a mom, because essentially she still mothers him. Whenever she picks him up or whenever they hang out, whenever he goes over to her house, she still takes care of him as if that was her own kid. And we were talking about it one day. She was like, I don't want you to feel like, I felt bad because he didn't, I wasn't expecting him to say something like that. And I never told him to call me mom. And I'm like, I know Andre doesn't do anything he doesn't really like to do or want to do. And I understand that if he loves you enough and feels safe with you enough that he calls you that out of his own heart, it's because you're doing something that you're providing something that he needs, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more women and more people need to be grown up about these types of situations, because at first it kind of hurt a little bit because I wasn't there to give him what he needed, but I was also glad that there was somebody there who could provide the mother type of support and nurturing that he needed while I wasn't there.
Right.
So it's something that we need to a degree, we need to get over this. He's not going to call you mom, or she's not going to call you mom or dad, or whatever your role is. But if that child feels the need or feels that they can call you that, who are we to say no? You can't. That's not your dad, or that's not your mom. You shouldn't be calling them that.
I think that's like an honorable title if it comes from the child.
Yes.
That's like a badge of honor. Because I go back and forth. Sometimes I call him by his name. Sometimes I call him dad. When I really want something, it's daddy.
Of course.
And I'll get it because he breaks down and don't tell your mother. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. Don't tell your mother. We never had this conversation. Type shit. You know what I'm saying? But he's never called me his stepdaughter. I don't like to call him my stepdad. I feel like that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like that title, step. You know what I'm saying? Because if these people are willing to make room for you, that says a lot about them. These individuals want you in their life as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that says a lot about a person when they're willing to say, you know what, your kids, I want them in my life. I want you and your children. I want all this in my life.
Agreed.
I want to share this with you.
Yeah.
You should not have to do this alone. We should do this together. That takes some balls from men and women. That takes some big ass balls. And I ain't mad at those who come in as the pitch hitter parents. I'm really not, only because I have a pitch hitter parent, and he's fucking awesome.
I know my grandfather, my mom and them, it's 18 of them, and
good Lord,
for the longest, we just knew the same fact. Like, we knew my grandparents got together and just had everybody, all 18 of them. We never knew the same fact. Like, there were stepbrothers and sisters, all that type of stuff. We didn't know that. We didn't know that both my grandmother and my grandfather had children from previous relationships. So, but when they got married, my grandfather and my mom used to they always said it, and they always said it, that he told them when they became a family, like, there is no step anything. You're all brothers and sisters. That's it. Period. I guess the simple fact that
somebody was messing with one at school, they was there to whoop that ass.
You best believe it. Because most of them are like real close. I mean, you got a lot of older ones, but I guess that's why I'm big on family. And just, like I said, just being taught by my mom and just how to conduct or act or treat or, handle yourself if you find yourself in a situation where you're dating a woman and she has children. And you have to be prepared to, in fact, depending on what their age is, you might get some in fact that, yes, will cling to you. And I've been in that situation. And like I said, it's hard when the relationship doesn't work out and you have that attachment to that child and that child has that attachment to you. It's hard. But at the same time, it is what it is. And sometimes, in fact, depending on how the relationship ends, you make it still keep in contact with that child, whatever the case may be, keep up with what they doing, all that type of still show support, and whatever the case may be. I've been there. And then you got a situation where, the child is undeniably defiant, just period. Because you get some children, in fact, that no matter what, they will never let go of that idea of their mother and father getting back together, because that's what they want.
Yeah.
So anybody new trying to come into the territory, they ain't having it. Like, no, you ain't getting in. Period. No. So I ask this question for each of you. If someone came to you and said, put a rule book together for dealing with or dating someone with a child, what would those rules be?
Can I start this one out? Because, I already did it.
Go ahead.
The first thing is you have to be patient with the mother and the child. When you're getting into a situation where you're dating someone and it's starting to get serious, and she feels comfortable enough to bring the child around you, be patient because it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like it's not like it happens in the movies. You see the person,
Oh, no.
and then a montage with some music happens, and 2 minutes later, everybody is buddy. No, and just be patient. Number 2, be realistic. There is nothing wrong with once you're getting into the situation and you're feeling it out. If you get overwhelmed to the point where you feel like you just can't do it, there is nothing wrong with backing out. There's nothing wrong with that. Save that person some time, save yourself some time, and save that kid some time.
Indeed.
Number 3, if you do continue to keep going forward with it, be real about everything with it, as much as possible with the child. Don't ruin Christmas and Santa and the Easter Bunny for the kid. But if the child asks you a question, be honest. Do you love my mommy? Yes, I love your mommy. Do you love me? If you love the child, because that's a hard question to answer when you get hit. Believe me, it is. But that's also a good reality check. If the child asks you that question and you don't love them, don't tell them you love them just to make them feel better, because you're lying to them. You can tell them you care about them. You tell them you really care about them. However you want to word it, but don't say "I love you" if you don't mean it. That's just to anybody, period, but especially to a kid that you're in a relationship with.
Right.
I agree.
And my final rule: be ready to be tried as the new parent, because you're the new parent, and you may not be hip to everything that kid does. Be ready to be tried and be up to the task. Have a stern right hand and keep it as disciplinary as possible without doing any crazy white people burying the kids, drowning and shit.
Yes, we don't need no more Casey Anthony's.
No, we don't need none of that. But if you follow those rules, I think everything else falls into place after that.
Casey Anthony killed her child so she could be with a man.
I'm going to add one more thing to that, because that list for me is almost perfect. The one more thing that I'd like to add to that is establish a relationship with that kid.
Yeah, connect on some level. Me and my son, video games, anything computer, whether it's phone, smartphone, tablet, anything like that, and comics. That's where we connect that. That's our bread and butter.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Free.
I agree with a lot of things on Poet's list. Number 1 is definitely being patient. Second is identifying your purpose. Because if you're entering into this person's life and you're not really interested in assuming any parental roles, then play your role. Don't be around the kids. Also, if it's at all possible to meet the other parent, I think that's so important to meet the other parent so you guys can all identify your roles in this child's life, so you guys can also feel comfortable with the role the new parental person is taking on, because I see so many people arguing and debating about this new parental person and what their disciplinary privileges or actions are.
What's authorized and what's not.
Very sensitive about such matters. So I think it's important to have all parents involved in that. And I think Poet really just hit everything on the head with all his rules. But those are mine I wanted to add.
All right, sis.
I mean, I agree with all that was said, and especially like the whole disciplinary thing. Like, my thing is this: you can correct my children, but you better not put your hands on them, and that's just how I feel.
Agreed.
I don't do the whole, beating and banging on my children, and nobody else is gonna do it. And as far as Jack, I just forgot what you said in the beginning, Free. Oh, like as far as meeting the other parent, I'm big on that too. And I have 3 kids, 2 fathers, and they know if I introduce a man to you, know that I'm serious because I don't, have just any random man around my children. So I've already been through that meeting the other parent stage, and it's going well thus far. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, long story short, I agree with all, poet's rules, what Allie added, what Free added. It's just again, when it comes to being with somebody with children or, you being the person with children, everybody gotta coexist, Look at the fact that the child is, the very innocent one, and that's who it's gonna affect the most, whether, it's a relationship where it's long term, short term, whatever. But if everybody's not going to be grown in the situation and deal with it the way it's supposed to be, the child will greatly be affected. You can't be bickering and fighting, and you can't have one parent over here saying something about the new girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, because kids hear that and that travels back. They'll, let them form their own opinion of people instead of trying to, force an opinion of them, of another person on your child. So, yeah, I'll just add that.
Okay. Joy.
Man. I'm not gonna tell a joke. I'm trying not to tell a joke. These all sound really, really good. As the single childless person, I feel like a leper.
But I mean,
you're well as the single person without the children, if that's the case,
Yeah.
you're the visiting team. They're the home team.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to respect the visiting team and the boundaries that they've established with their children. Whether you agree with them or not, if you disagree, talk about that away from the kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that in front of them because you just undermine that individual in front of that child.
Yep.
Right.
Don't do that in front of the child. Allow the child to come to you. Kids are pretty good. They'll try to fill you out. They try to get to know you in their way. Let them do that in their way. Don't force it on them. Don't force it on them. I've seen it happen with other people, and the kid was like, "Fuck you, I'm out." Ran away, got on the Greyhound bus, and went to their dad's house. I was like, this kid is smart as fuck. Because I wouldn't have had that kind of plan if that was me. But that's what they do. And so as the visiting team, you got to know your role, and you need to state your position and your intentions.
Right.
If you're a man, you need to express the intentions to that woman that you are dating that has the child. And if you are a woman, you need to express your intentions with that man who may have the child.
Absolutely.
Because if you both don't agree on what your role is, this might not be the relationship for you.
Right.
Agreed.
True.
I agree.
Definitely.
Okay. I definitely concur with everything that's been said. Definitely from the gate again, be patient, because you are definitely gonna get tried. You're gonna be tried. That child is going. That child is gonna try you. They're gonna try and pay it. One thing too, pay attention to the type of relationship that child has with that parent. Because that'll tell you a lot too of how they may try to sit there and try you. So pay attention. Be observant. Be more of a listener and than trying to talk. And definitely don't force yourself on that child, because you can overwhelm that child, and that's not what you want to do.
You want it to be natural.
Exactly. Don't this from me, because I kind of got pushed into it. As far as like just off the top, like become a disciplinarian and all that type of stuff. And so you got to be careful with that as well.
Mhm.
It's been said, and I'll say it again. State what your intentions are. Speaking from a man's point of view, speaking to the fellas, if you know off top you have no intentions on being with that woman long term, don't meet her kids. Don't meet her kids. Don't try to act like you all gung ho. Cause I'm gonna throw this out there. We know brothers will play a role to get what they want. When that prize is just the cookie, they will play that role. We're gonna call it for what it is. So if you don't have any intentions on making it long term, don't act like you do. Cause all you're doing is setting yourself
Um,
up and everybody else up for a lot of hurt.
I feel
I
where
guess
you coming from as far as, oh, go ahead. You're not done. Go ahead.
no, I was going to ask you because you and Free said this in fact about the whole meeting the parent. What I was going to ask you to is when exactly is the appropriate time for that meeting to take place?
Um,
What's the
in my case,
timetable on that?
The timetable.
I'm not gonna say it's necessarily a timetable. When I feel like, they're going, it's okay for the man that I'm with and my children to meet, then I have to let the father of the kids, meet this person also. Because if I feel like we're building, then I feel I give you the respect of knowing this is the man that's gonna be around your children. Y'all can meet. You can ask any questions that you want to meet. Feel this person out for yourself, however it goes. But I feel like if I take too long to do it, in the sense, I'm not gonna say being disrespectful, but in the sense I am, because I'm the type of person that immediately I want to know if you're bringing my children around this woman, I want to know who she is. Because if you feel like she's worthy enough of being around my children, I gotta feel the same way. And when it comes to them, like neither one of their wives like me for real, but that's
Yeah,
another show.
but we know why. We know why, so we ain't even gonna
Okay,
touch on that. We ain't gonna touch on
you
that.
know
We know
why,
why.
but
Fine. So
I don't know why. Please share.
You know why?
Free, do you know
Because
why?
because both her baby fathers are still in love with her, so that's why.
Oh, well, that isn't her problem.
No,
Right.
you're right. You're absolutely right. And I've said the same thing. I have said the same thing. However, it has nevertheless stopped either of them from disliking her. Something
No,
that she has absolutely positively no control over whatsoever.
no,
But
none, none.
right?
they're
But
being
yet they married
extra.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But yet they married him. They married him knowing that these men still have feelings for her. It's like they're
Okay, well,
emotionally
no, no,
unavailable.
no, no, no,
I hate
no.
how to
In my
project shit.
oldest
I
son's
hate that
father's
shit.
defense,
Like, your
she
papa
didn't know.
She
But
didn't
the
know.
ex that I was with for 7 years, oh, she knows. The
Well,
oldest, my 14-year-old father, his wife didn't know, but the youngest T, oh yeah, she knows. She
well,
easy.
for the one that knows, she's what I like to call on the show a chlamydia.
It was coming.
Welcome to the
I
chlamydia
did
Well,
too.
club.
see,
I did too. I did too.
She is chlamydia because I am not marrying nobody who is emotionally unavailable because he's still
okay,
swooning
listen,
over the
listen.
mother of his
Okay,
children.
Almond Joy, before you go into that, let's tell you why she did it. It was one of those cases where she was one of them women that she won, so to speak, because we ended because he cheated, got her pregnant, and it was one of them cases. I'm gonna have him by any means necessary. She knew all about me. She just didn't care.
Well,
But
she's still a chlamydia. She's still a chlamydia.
I was gonna say yeah.
She's still a chlamydia. Just because I mean everything that you're describing is chlamydia. That's chlamydia.
I
Chlamydia.
love her. Man,
Them,
that's your. I love her. And you
and if
mad
you
at me?
need somebody to come help you with to
Oh
deal with
God.
this chlamydia,
Oh God.
you
Oh
call
God.
me. I
Listen.
got leave
Wait,
days.
listen. I'm putting
I
that on
really
Twitter right now.
love her.
Hashtag chlamydia C.
Females like that. Like you chose this life, but you mad at me though.
Right.
Good.
It's like,
It's
where's
up.
that little meme with the little African kid talking to that white lady? So you trying
Uh-oh.
to tell me that for 50 cents a day, people in Africa can eat, but Whole Foods charge this much for some dried cranberries? Cost $8 per bag.
Just don't make no damn sense.
It don't.
Hey, Alvin.
Uh,
Can you see the tagline underneath his and hers?
that'll be next week's topic. Chlamydiopathy. Donald Trump, this chick, you know, she who shall not be named. I got a whole list of chlamydia. The list goes on.
I do
I'm
too,
telling
boy.
you.
I do too.
You need to
I
add
got a list of chlamydias, man.
dictionary.com and Merriam-Webster's.
Hashtag chlamydia C.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
How to describe, and then you just put the description of a chlamydia. Just point the arrow to that word. They have entered that zone. It's like you heard of the friend zone. We got the chlamydia zone.
So we are not starting that. No.
Look. Just because you get damn, I don't know, hawkish on that term, I just don't like it. You just be it's like watching the Super Saiyan. Last week on Dragon Ball Z. This week on Dragon Ball Z.
I can't with Almond Joy.
That is why we cannot have nice things.
Exactly why. This is exactly why we cannot.
We have 7 minutes, so I'm going to let everybody have their final words. So we're going to close out. So we are going to start with Free.
Just basically, if you're dating someone with kids and you have no intentions on taking on parental roles, don't be around their kids. Keep it personal. You know what I mean? Do what you do outside of the children. Don't involve them. Don't create these attachments that will later, could be hurtful to the children. And also, my disclaimer, for anybody who's trying to date my kid's father, I don't care. Don't bring me no drama, because I don't care. He can date you. You guys can be together. I wish y'all the best in life. I really do. My disclaimer.
I'm enjoying.
I'm laughing at you. I'm sorry. I am the representative for the single women without kids. As single ladies without kids, state your intent. Because if you intend one thing and he doesn't intend that for you, stay or play or load and go. But you gotta know you gotta stay in your lane too. Don't try to get in the other lane. Stay in the slow lane. That's where you belong. Don't force anything on the children. And be willing to meet the other parent. And definitely try to do your best to keep everything civil, because you are the outsider. So as much as you can, try to keep it all civil. Because if it was me, disclaimer, I'll invite your baby mama to Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner. I don't give a shit. This is a team. This is a team effort now. This is your team. And the child is all of our responsibility. So if you are the single person coming into the team, you got to understand that you are the outsider.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yeah, exactly. Teamwork make the dream work. Exactly. I could not think of it. That's exactly what it is.
I said it like 3 times already.
Did you?
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
But that's really what it's all about. Keep it civil. Just for your sake and the child's sake. Don't talk shit about your baby mother. As much as you may want to, don't do it.
Mm.
And don't do it in front of kids if you do it. Just
All
mumble
right.
that shit under your breath.
All right. This is another time.
Again,
Where is that coming from?
state your intentions. Know what your intentions are. What your intentions are from the gate.
Okay, that's not me.
If you are don't have no intentions of staying around, like don't even try to keep it personal, because if y'all not on the same page and that person starts feeling you deeper, they may want you to meet their kids, and if you have no intention of being there long term, no. Like if once you realize that you have no intention of being long term, leave that situation alone altogether. Because there's too many variables that can happen with that. So leave that situation alone altogether. If you're a parent with a kid, don't try to force your child to like this person because you like them. Let them feel that person out. You know what I'm saying? Kids have a tendency of being able to point out something and recognize if a person has genuine intentions or not. So don't try to force them to like that individual because you do. No, let them feel them out for themselves and whatnot. And don't disregard your child's feelings because you want to have somebody. Don't do that. Let them know they're included in that. Because at the end of the day, y'all are a package deal.
Exactly.
This ain't like you can go to McDonald's or Burger King or something and you can break up the combo and say, oh well, instead of that, give me this. No, y'all are a package deal. So keep that in mind. That's it for me.
All right, Diamond.
To add to what everybody else says, I'm big on respecting what I do and do not allow around my children. So that means, if you do things that I don't allow around my children, you better correct it and you better correct it quick because they are influenced by the things that they see and hear. And again, I'm not going to let anybody do anything to or around my children that I do not do. So if you got a problem with that, yeah, you can keep on skating, bro, because, yeah, it's just not going to work.
And if you don't want to skate, I can always help you.
We can help. I can help them. Uh-oh.
I'm just asking a question.
Hold on, wait. Did you say, is that what we created?
Not really know. For everything and everybody. I don't know.
I quit.
Everybody.
Who says either? Your final words.
Oh my gosh.
Is you saying thoughts or thoughts?
That's what I was trying to sit there and figure out.
What was up
It's
there?
that.
Go out there. Go out there.
Oh, Jesus.
That goes out
Okay,
there.
we gonna skate over that one because that's not for the kids show.
Let's come back maybe a couple weeks down.
Thoughts are not for kids. Thoughts are not for
Right.
kids.
They are not. They are not. They are not.
Okay.
No.
Mm-mm. Uh-oh.
No, don't even bring them around at all. Period. No.
All right, let's try to wrap this up
This will be here.
all night. Final thoughts for me. always, everybody's giving good points. Always be respectful, be mindful of your kids' feelings and emotions. Make sure that they always feel comfortable. Talk to them. Keep those lines of communication open with them. Let them know that that you are thinking about them, not only about yourself when you're involving somebody new. Um, make sure that they're always respectful. That just because this person is a new, the new person in town per se, it doesn't mean that the respect rules do not apply. Um, for me, it's communication is key. So talk to your kids. Keep the lines of communication open with the person that you're bringing in as well, just so that they are prepared to deal with the ramifications that come with when there is a child involved. So, you know, again, everybody said this, but it's very important if they're not going to be in for the long haul. If it's not going to be something serious, then they shouldn't be involved in the kids' lives in any way.
All right, I really don't have anything else to add to what you guys have said. You all eloquated everything so wonderfully, which is why y'all are a great team. What I want to do is give a shout out to all the parents that stepped in as a parent and took on that responsibility willingly. It's one thing to have that thrusted upon you involuntarily. It's another thing to step into it willingly and do the best you can, on the fly. Yeah. So shout out to y'all. We salute you. So it's that time to wrap it up. Again, catch us every Friday, whether it's here on YouTube or you can catch us on Blog Talk Radio, www.blogtalk.com, blogtalkradio.com/TSOTS Productions, or is it Two Sides Productions? It's Two Sides Productions. The annotation will be somewhere around here where you can click on it and actually get to our page. That's every Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, as it says down here. So lovely right now. On Wednesdays, you can check the Skybox, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, with Chills and Champ's Rant, Choke Artist of the Week, latest sports news, latest scores, everything down here, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can also check out the Mic Check with our very own Eddie Kang, Champ, and Chills, 10 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday. Check out the Battle of the Best. It was a great show last week. You still have time to vote. Go to the Mic Check group, put your vote in. Catch them every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, download the app. Keep up with us. You can download it on your Apple device, your Android device, your BlackBerry device, your Amazon device, all free. I know everybody loves the word free, whether it's F-R-E-E or P-H-R-E.
Indeed.
Check out the website, www.twosidesofthestory.com. Check us out on Facebook. TSOTS presents whatever show you are looking for. Every show has a group.
It does.
And you can also check out the official fan page, www.facebook.com/TSOTS. Check us out on Google somewhere. Just Google TSOTS Productions. We're somewhere on the intranet.
We are. And also, we've already started the forum for the motivational, encouraging, and uplifting the refresh with myself as well as with Eddie Kang. If you just stay tuned with us. You can go to Facebook and join the group. It's an open group. Share, keep up with us. If you download the app, you'll see the updates, and we're going to keep you posted on when we're actually going to start the online radio show for the refresh. It's coming back. It's been a while, but if you need some motivation, just check out the archives, because we have the archives of the refresh, or you can just join the group. Be sure to just stay tuned, and we'll keep you posted on when it's actually going to debut again.
Exactly. And we haven't forgot about the Hangout. I know I haven't given you guys a Hangout article in a very long time, but I'm actually going to do an article on a couple of things that's happened over the summer. Summer is going to be one big major article. And yes, I am talking iOS 9 and how Apple lied to me. They lied to me.
I've been saying that for the past couple of days.
Nobody ain't asked you. Tuesday. This Tuesday, we have a special guest on TSOTS Interviews.
I am waiting for that show.
YouTube tuber and Houston comedian Roxy Hayes will be on. You will ask her as many questions as you can. The foul mouth femme fatale, and believe me when I say she is foul mouth.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I watched some of her stuff last night. Yes, she is. But she is funny though.
She's funny. So if you
She is funny.
haven't checked her out, YouTube her, Roxy Hayes. As a matter of fact, her YouTube channel is I Am Roxy Hayes. Or you can just check her out. She's a part of her feature channels on our page, so you can check her out through there. She'll be on 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I Am Poetry. This is the His and Hers crew. I want to thank all of them. Everybody have a great night and a great weekend. Deuces.
Bye, everyone. Have a good and safe weekend.
Bye.